fans cried over this heartbreaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're diving into one of the most unexpected and emotional turns in celebrity history. After decades of love, laughter, and building a family together, Mark Consuelos has made a move so shocking, so heartbreaking, that fans across the nation have been left in tears. What happens when a love story we all thought would last forever takes a sudden twist? What did Mark do after his divorce from Ripa that no one saw coming? And how does this reveal a truth about love, loss, and starting over that speaks to every one of us? Stay with me, because this story is not only about Hollywood glamour and heartbreak, it's about resilience, courage, and the choices we all face when life doesn't go as planned. Before we talk about the shocking move, let's rewind the clock. Kelly&Mark weren't just another celebrity couple. They were America's sweethearts. From the moment they met on the set of All My Children back in the 90s, sparks flew. Their chemistry wasn't just for television, it was real, raw, and unforgettable. Millions of fans followed their journey. Secret wedding in Las Vegas, raising 3 beautiful children, and becoming one of Hollywood's rare examples of lasting love. For many of us watching from the sidelines, they gave hope that even in a world obsessed with temporary fame, real love could endure. But what happens when even the strongest seeming bonds begin to fray? Behind the smiles, the red carpet glamour, and the cheerful banter on morning television, cracks began to show. Rumors surfaced of disagreements, long stretches apart due to work, and the natural strain that comes with decades of marriage under the spotlight. Some fans noticed subtle tension during live shows, moments where laughter seemed forced or where silence spoke louder than words. Still, nobody believed it would come to this. After all, Mark and Kelly seemed unshakable. Until the announcement came. Divorce. A word that hit like a thunderclap across Hollywood and sent ripples through the homes of loyal fans who had followed their love story for over 25 years. And yet, what came next was even more shocking. Most people expected Mark to retreat quietly into the background, perhaps focusing on his children or his acting projects, but instead, he made a move that stunned everyone. He packed up his life and relocated, not to Los Angeles, not to New York, but to a place few expected, a quiet European town, away from the cameras, away from the chaos, and away from the life he had built with Kelly. Why would he do this? What was he running from or running toward? This is where the story takes a turn no one anticipated. In interviews that followed, Mark hinted at what drove him. After years of living in the spotlight, he craved solitude. The laughter of audiences, the flashing cameras, the constant pressure of being half of a power couple, it had all taken its toll. He described feeling like a man who had given so much of himself to the world that he barely recognized who he was when he looked in the mirror. Moving away wasn't just about distance from Kelly, it was about rediscovering himself, peeling away the layers of fame and expectation until he could finally hear his own voice again. But what he found in that solitude would leave fans even more emotional. Imagine starting over at 50. For many of us, it's a terrifying thought, but that's exactly what Mark faced. Alone in a foreign country with no cameras, no interviews, and no morning talk shows to distract him, he was forced to confront the silence. In that silence, he began to rebuild, slowly, painfully, piece by piece. He picked up old hobbies, reconnected with his cultural roots, and began writing. Yes, writing, a private journal that friends say may one day become a memoir. He wasn't escaping heartbreak. He was learning to live with it. And just when fans thought he had disappeared for good, Mark revealed something even more surprising. Months after his move, Mark broke his silence with a message that took social media by storm. In it, he didn't lash out, didn't point fingers, didn't even speak of regret. Instead, he shared words of gratitude for Kelly, for their years together, and for the lessons learned in love and loss. He admitted that the journey wasn't easy, that some nights he still woke up aching from the emptiness. But he urged fans to see divorce not as the end of a story, but as the beginning of another. It was a message that resonated deeply, especially with older fans who know all too well the challenges of love, loss, and starting over. But Mark wasn't done surprising us. Instead of chasing fame, Mark poured his energy into something far more meaningful: philanthropy. In that quiet European town, he became involved in local charities supporting underprivileged children and programs for struggling families. To those who knew him personally, it wasn't surprising. Mark had always been a family man. But to fans watching from afar, it was a revelation. The man who once graced magazine covers now preferred to build playgrounds for kids, sponsor scholarships, and quietly sit at fundraisers without the flash of paparazzi. And yet, behind this new mission, there was a deeper story. Rumors began swirling once again, but this time not about divorce or heartbreak. Whispers spread that Kelly herself had visited him not once, but several times. Could it be that after all the pain, after all the distance, there was still room for reconciliation? Fans clung to every detail, every unconfirmed sighting, desperate for answers. Were these two souls destined to find their way back together, even after divorce? Or was this just closure? Two people who shared a lifetime coming together to honor what once was. The truth, my friends, is both heartbreaking and beautiful. Mark Consuelos' shocking move wasn't just about relocation, solitude, or even philanthropy. It was about the courage to choose healing over bitterness, gratitude over regret, and growth over stagnation. He showed us that even when a love story ends, life does not. There are always chapters yet to be written, always opportunities to rebuild, and always moments to cherish, even in heartbreak. And perhaps the greatest lesson of all is that sometimes the most shocking move isn't running away. It's choosing to live again. So, what do you think of Mark Consuelos' shocking move after his divorce from Kelly Ripa? Was it an escape, a rebirth, or perhaps both? And what does his journey teach us about love, resilience, and the human spirit? One thing's for sure, this story has left fans in tears, not just because of the heartbreak, but because of the beauty found in how one man faced it. Thank you for watching, and if you've ever found strength after loss, let us know your story in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that inspire, surprise, and remind us of the resilience within us. If you've been moved by this story, please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss future updates on Mark Consuelos and other important stories. And in the comments below, share your messages of love and encouragement for Mark and Kelly.